Turn it off tonight. Not out of panic, not because something's coming for you. Turn it off because for once, if you go quiet, you might actually notice something most people are about to scroll straight past. 3 points of light just gathered in the same part of the sky. On the one day of the year, sky watchers have tracked this exact meeting for centuries. And whatever you've been half seeing about your own life for weeks now, the wall that's been blocking your view of it just moved. You didn't move it. 3 planets did, and they did it whether you were paying attention or not. Here's what's actually real, not manufactured for a thumbnail. The sun has been moving through Leo for weeks now, mid-season, at full strength. Jupiter has been sitting there too, parked at almost exactly the 8th degree of that same sign. Yes, on the 8th day of the 8th month, which is a coincidence the sky didn't have to hand us but did. And right now, tonight, Mercury is crossing the threshold out of quiet, private, feeling first Cancer and into loud, expressive, look at me Leo, arriving in the same room as the other 2. 3 planets, 1 sign, 1 night. That's not a metaphor, that's a chart. Layer on top of that, the reason this exact date gets talked about every single year, long before any of this year's specific stack existed. The sun lines up with Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. A pairing ancient watchers set their calendars by. That's not folklore stacked on folklore for views. That's a real, observable, repeating alignment that just happens this year to land on the same night 3 planets are sharing a room. The stack is genuinely rare. What isn't rare, and what the panic framing always gets wrong, is the idea that rare automatically means dangerous. So no, the planets didn't rearrange the stars tonight, and nothing is coming to punish you for scrolling through it distracted. What actually moved is your sight line, and that distinction is the entire point of the next few minutes, so keep it close. Jupiter doesn't invent anything new in your life. It's not a magic wand. It's a magnifier, and it only magnifies what's already load-bearing. For weeks now, sitting quietly in Leo, it's been leaning its full weight against the truest, most solid thing you've actually built. A skill you've practiced past the point of doubting it. A way of talking that lands when you use it. A version of yourself that works when you stop performing and just show up as it. Not the decorative stuff you keep around to look impressive. The wall that's actually holding weight when everything else gets stripped away. Tonight, with the Sun and Mercury both stepping into that same sign, that quiet wall stops being background architecture and becomes the thing your entire view now depends on. Practically, this shows up as a strange, specific noticing. What are you proudest of when nobody's around to see it? That's the wall. Whatever gets bigger for you this week, an opportunity, a conversation, an offer, it's very likely going to lean on exactly that structure, not on the parts of you built for approval. Mercury spent the last stretch of weeks moving through Cancer, which is a private, protective, say less than you actually mean kind of placement. It's a fine place for a planet of thought to sit when you're still figuring something out and don't owe anyone the unfinished version yet. But crossing into Leo tonight flips that entire switch. Thoughts that have been forming quietly in the back of your mind, half-formed and untested, suddenly start wanting an actual microphone instead of a locked diary page. This isn't about becoming loud for the sake of being loud, and it's not licensed to say whatever crosses your mind without thinking it through first. It's simpler than that. The planet that governs how you think and how you speak just changed its entire operating mode on the exact night the room's overall lighting change too. Watch for what you're suddenly willing to say out loud that you were quietly sitting on a week ago. That's not impulsiveness catching up with you. That's Mercury standing in a considerably brighter window than it had access to in Cancer. Long before anyone called this the Lion's Gate, early sky watchers were tracking Sirius's return to the pre-dawn horizon for a genuinely practical reason. Its reappearance reliably predicted a seasonal shift. Entire communities planned their year around. The mysticism, the manifestation language, the portal framing, all of that came centuries later, layered on top of something that started as observation, not belief. The underlying pattern is old, and it's genuinely repeatable, which is exactly why it still gets tracked today. Same star, same rough position, same rough date, every single year, without fail. What's actually rare this year isn't that Sirius shows up on schedule. It always does. What's rare is that this particular year, it shows up while 3 separate planets happen to be gathered in the very sign it rises alongside. That coincidence is the thing worth your attention tonight, not manufactured urgency. An honestly unusual stack that the sky handed us without being asked, and one that won't repeat in quite this configuration again for a long while. Every tradition built around this date, whatever else you think of the mysticism, agrees on one practical point. It's genuinely easier to notice a shift when there's less noise competing for your attention. That's not mystical. That's just how attention works. Full stop. If your notifications are stacking up tonight, your sightline stays cluttered with everyone else's version of what this night means, and you never get a clean look at your own. So turn it off for an hour. Not because some portal punishes you for staying online. Nothing is watching to see if you comply, but because the entire point of tonight is noticing what's already quietly shifted in your own life. And you genuinely cannot notice a wall that moved while you're staring at a screen full of everyone else's walls, everyone else's plans, everyone else's version of urgent. Expansion isn't free, even the good, wanted kind. If Jupiter's about to make your realist skill bigger and Mercury's about to make your actual voice louder, that means there's going to be measurably less room left over for the version of you that stays quiet just to keep the peace, or that shrinks a real, true opinion down into something smaller and safer because smaller feels less risky. That's the honest trade tonight is offering you. Not doom, not a countdown clock, just less available hiding space than you had a week ago. Worth naming plainly instead of dressing it up as a purely comfortable gift, because it isn't only that. Growth that's actually load-bearing tends to ask more of you, not less. That's usually how you can tell it's the real kind and not just a pleasant mood that fades by the weekend. By morning, the exact configuration in the sky shifts again. That's simply how skies work. Nothing up there stays locked in one place for long, and no single night holds a permanent grip on you. But the sightline you actually noticed tonight, the wall that genuinely moved, doesn't quietly slide back into its old position just because the planets themselves keep moving on. You get to keep the wider view. Or, out of pure habit, you can walk yourself back to the old spot where the wall used to block things. Both options are genuinely available to you tomorrow morning, and only one of them costs you something you already worked for. If tonight's stack shows you one honest thing, a wall that's more solid than you'd been giving it credit for, a sentence you're finally ready to say out loud, a skill you stopped underselling, that's the real shift worth keeping. Not everything, all at once, overnight. One sightline, permanently a little wider than it was this morning. On a night like this, that's already worth a great deal. Tell me in the comments what actually changed for you tonight. Not what you expected to change walking in, what genuinely did. If this reached you at the right moment, stay close, because there's more of this conversation coming as the week keeps building toward what's next. You don't need permission from 3 planets to say the true thing or finally use the skill you've been sitting on. Tonight just made it considerably easier to see that it was always yours to use in the first place. The room changed shape without asking you. What you do with the new view from here, that part was never anyone else's to decide. It's still, and only ever was, yours. 3 points of light just made that easier to notice. What happens next is entirely up to the person standing in the room, which is, and has always been, you.